Hit the like button, comment and subscribe, and share the video. Hello, sports fan. Welcome to No Offseason Media. I'm your host, Amari Sports, and today's video will go over the Week 16 picks. Before I go over my recap and my picks later on in this video, I want to wish you, your friend, your family, whoever it may be, I wish them a happy Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year's. Let's go and get this whole entire thing. Last week, I went 7-9 ATS, but if you've been following me, I went 13-3 in terms of picking a winner. So you might as well just go ahead and listen to me when it comes to picking a winner straight up. You know, last week, I took the Jaguars as an upset over the Cowboys. Just despite Cowboy fan, I just had a feeling that the Jaguars was just going to upset Dallas, and that's necessarily what happens. But let's go on to the next week. Let's talk Jaguars at the New York Jets. New York is a 1.5 point favorite against Jacksonville, and I really like the Jags in this matchup. I think the Jacksonville Jaguars are the better team here. You're seeing with the Jets that they had this great start, beating the Packers, keeping it close with New England twice, beating Buffalo, beating Miami, and now they're just crashing down. Like, they lost to Detroit, they lost to Minnesota, they lost to the Buffalo Bills the week before they lost to Detroit. Now with the Jaguars, remember this team was like, they 2-1 after they beat the Chargers, and now after that they lost like 4 consecutive games, and now they're even in talks of getting into the playoffs. I think the Jaguars are a better team. I like Trevor Lawrence and the Jacksonville Jaguars team over the New York Jets. The makeup is coming off. I really like the Jaguars in the spot. I'm gonna take Jacksonville to win 24-20, and I normally don't like betting Thursday night games, but I'm really safe on taking the Jags to win this game. Next, Buffalo at the Chicago Bears. The Bills are a 9-point favorite in Chicago in the Midway, and I'm going with the monsters of the Midwest and the Chicago Bears to cover this game with Justin Fields. But the Buffalo Bills will win this game outright. Chicago was able to cover against the Philadelphia Eagles. Josh Allen in the last 9 games is only 1-8 ATS. So I really like the Bears. The Bears covered against the Eagles, as I alluded to earlier. They covered against Miami. They even covered against Atlanta. So I really like the Bears to cover these big numbers, and I'm going to take the Bears here, but I like the Buffalo Bills because they are the better team. So I'm taking Buffalo to win this ball game 27-19, but the Bills fail to cover the spread, and that's why I like the Bears in the spot. This game is projected to be in -4 degrees at kickoff. Saints and Browns. Browns are a 2.5 point favorite at home against New Orleans, and I like Cleveland to win this ball game and to cover. Both of these teams had offensive woes. Andy Dalton is trying to rally his troops together to, score more than 21 points. But this game is projected to be very cold temperatures. I don't see a way how both these teams can score. Since Deshaun Watson has gotten to the fold, the Browns offense really hasn't played well. We saw with Jacoby Brissett, they were able to stay in 1-score games. Yes, they beat Baltimore 13-3 last week, but if anybody watched that game, you knew that the Browns didn't win that game because of Deshaun Watson, because their defense and the awful play calling of the Baltimore Ravens offensive coordinator and Greg Roman. So I really like the Browns here. I think the Browns are the better team than the Saints. The Saints still have something to fight for, but I really like Cleveland to win this ball game outright. I like the Browns to win 17-10, and if I were a bettor, I would bet the under in this game due to the low temperatures. AFC South, Tennessee Titans and the Houston Texans. Tennessee is a 4-point favorite at home, and I really like the Tennessee Titans in this ball game. Ryan Tannehill is projected to be likely out for the season, which will have Malik Willis inserted potentially for the rest of the year. I still like the Titans here. The money is all on Houston. That this number came out and it was Tennessee -7. Now it's down to 4. I like Tennessee here. The last time Tennessee and Houston played, Tennessee won by a score of, I think, 17-10, if I'm not mistaken. But I think Tennessee is a better team. They are skidding at this point. I mean, they lost to the Eagles, Bengals, Chargers. It's just getting out of control. And I think this is the time where they get back on track and try to keep the whole pretty much save the season, because they don't win this, they know that Jacksonville is on the back door knocking, and they can potentially take their spot as the AFC South division champion. So I really like the Tennessee Titans to win this ball game and to cover. I think the Titans will win 24-19 over Houston. Houston has nothing to play for, but they will keep the game close. Another cold temperature game, we got the Seattle Seahawks and the Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas City is a 10-point favorite at home against Seattle. A part of me wants to take the Chiefs to win this ball game and a cover, but seeing that they went to overtime with Houston, and I took Houston to 14 points, and then seeing them barely beat these other handful of teams like Denver and all, it's not looking good for Kansas City. I'm going with Seattle. I normally don't back Geno Smith normally that often, but I really like the Seahawks in this matchup. Kansas City's defense is not that good. They're not able to stop the run, which the Seahawks love to do, and they can't stop the pass whatsoever. We were seeing Davis Mills light them up. We were seeing Joe Burrow light them up, and I think Geno Smith will have himself a ball game. I like Kansas City to win this ball game, but I like Seattle plus the 10 points. Give me Kansas City to win 31-28. We got the New York Giants and the Minnesota Vikings. Minnesota's a 4-point favorite at home against New York, and I'm going with the Giants plus 4. Kayvon Thibodeau and the entire D-line of the New York Giants have this whole entire defense rolling. We saw them against the Washington Commanders. Yes, they got lit up by Philadelphia, but Philadelphia has been lighting up teams the entire year. Remember, Jacksonville was up like 14-0 over the Eagles, and then the Eagles went on a 29-7 run. So I just like the Giants here. The Giants D-line is going to suffocate this entire Minnesota O-line. Yes, the Minnesota Vikings beat the Indianapolis Colts, and they were down 33-0 and came back on a 29-3 run. And I understand that's Matt Ryan and the Indianapolis Colts with an interim coach Jeff Saturday. As I said in my previous couple videos, Minnesota finds ways to win these one-score games that will come back to bite them. And I'm not necessarily saying this is going to be the game that's going to do it. I'm not taking the Minnesota Vikings to win by more than 4 points over a Giants team that just pretty much their D-line is for real. So I think Minnesota can match up well, but I like the Giants overall. Give me the Minnesota Vikings to win 27-24, but I like the Giants plus 4 in this matchup. Next, we got Bengals and Patriots. Cincinnati is a 3-point favorite on the road against New England and Foxborough. And I'm taking the Bengals to win this ball game and to cover. As people know, I'm a Patriots fan, so I was very disgusted when I saw the Patriots lose to the Raiders off of some stupid, boneheaded plays. But that's not the here or there. I think Cincinnati is going to roll the New England Patriots at this point. Oh, but the Patriots can show some fight for their playoffs. No. The players don't think the season is over. Us fans know the season is over for New England. They got Cincinnati, then they got the Dolphins, and then they got Buffalo to close it out. Cincinnati has been playing well ever since they had an 0-2 start. The next few weeks after that, they went on a 10-2 run. Now I think they're going to get to 11 wins. They're going to be 11-4 in this matchup. So I really like the Bengals here. I think the Bengals will roll New England in Foxborough. Give me the Bengals to win 27-13. Next, we got everybody's favorite Detroit Lions at the Carolina Panthers. Detroit is a 2.5-point favorite against Carolina, and I love the Lions here at 2.5. If you got up at 3, maybe I'll take Carolina because potentially for a push. But I really like the Lions here in the spot because Jared Goff has been playing well on the road. This Lions, remember, they were like the last ranked defense in the league the first 7 weeks, and now they're kind of getting up into gear. Aiden Hutchinson is playing phenomenal. They're holding teams to less than 20 points. And I just think that the Lions are everybody's team that wants to get into the playoffs, and I think this is the year they can do it. I really like the Lions to win this ball game and to cover against Carolina. It could be a trap game for Detroit, but I'm going to take the Lions to win this ball game anyways. Give me Detroit to win 27-17 over the Panthers. All right, Falcons at the Ravens. Ravens are 7.5-point favorites against Atlanta. This is a line that projects that Lamar Jackson will play. As I'm recording as of right now, Lamar Jackson has not returned to practice, which likely will be Tyler Huntley getting back into the fold. And I will hammer this. I'm taking the Falcons plus the points, but I think the Ravens will win this ball game outright. The Ravens only scored 3 points against the Cleveland Browns, scored 18 against the Pittsburgh Steelers, and then scored 10 against the Denver Broncos in the previous 3 weeks. I'm going to take the Falcons to keep this game close. Desmond Ridder is going to make his second start. I think he's going to be able to get back into groove and understand that this is a professional level of football. And I just think you got to let the rookie run and see where his footing's at, because potentially Atlanta might be drafting a quarterback for next year or maybe the next 2 years. So I like Atlanta to keep this game close. but I'm going to take the Ravens to win this ball game outright. Ravens don't cover big spreads. I'm going with Baltimore to win 23-16 over the Atlanta Falcons. The hook is what gets me. I'm taking the Ravens to win this ball game, but Falcons cover. The afternoon slate for Saturday starts with the Commanders at the 49ers. San Francisco is a 7.5-point favorite against Washington, and I like San Francisco to win this game, but I'm taking the Commanders plus the 7.5. These two defenses are really well. They held the Giants to 20 points in both times they play, even coming off a bye week as well too. And they've been playing really well. Yes, San Francisco's defense is for real, and they're able to generate turnovers and get sacked on quarterbacks. But I think these are two heavily good defenses. Ron Rivera is obviously a defensive head coach, so he'll have something to scheme up for the rookie Brock Purdy. But I really like the Commanders to keep this game close. I think it's going to be very, very low scoring. Give me the 49ers to win 20-13. The hook is what gets me as well too in this game. This was an exciting NFC East matchup, but one quarterback will not be slated to play in this game. Is the Dallas Cowboys against the Philadelphia Eagles in AT&T Stadium. Dallas is a 5-point favorite against Philadelphia. And the money's going to be all on Dallas because Dallas lost to Jacksonville, and they're going to be ready for the Eagles. I think the Dallas Cowboys will be ready, but I love the Eagles +5 in this matchup. Gardner Minshew, he's an okay quarterback, good enough backup. We saw these two teams play it back in week 18 of last year. Gardner Minshew did get the start. Dak Prescott played for a couple series, and then they yanked him out of the game. And then I think the Cowboys won 51 or 50-29 or whatever the score was. I really like the Eagles here. I think the Eagles will keep this game close. The reason why the Eagles are mostly winning their games is because Jalen Hurts has been playing well, and their defense has been playing well, been suffocating poor offensive lines. And Tyler Smith, the Cowboys tackle that they drafted this year, is out with an ACL dating back to a couple weeks ago. So I really like the Eagles here. The Eagles are obviously the better team than the Dallas Cowboys, but I think in this spot the Dallas Cowboys win because the Eagles and Cowboys always split every single year. Give me Dallas to win 26-23. Very kind of high score-ish, but I think defenses will prevail in this matchup. 50-year anniversary of the Immaculate Catch. We got the Las Vegas Raiders, formerly known as Oakland Raiders, against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Steelers are a 2.5-point favorite at home against Las Vegas. Due to the Franco Harris passing today, or as I'm recording this, yesterday, I'm going with the Steelers to win this ball game and to cover. The Steelers will have a boost of energy, want to play for Franco Harris, knowing his death at passing away at age 72. I think this is going to gel the team and make the team want to play good for him. And this game is projected to be a -4 as of kickoff in terms of what it feels like, and especially with the wind coming in through Acrisure Stadium, formerly known as Heinz Field. But I really like the Steelers here. I think the Steelers are the better team. I think the Raiders got lucky last game against the New England Patriots. Wasn't for a boneheaded play. This team was up 17-3 on New England, and then New England came out with 21 unanswered points. If it wasn't for New England punting that ball and actually not the Super, they would have gone to overtime. Maybe the Raiders would have won. Who knows? But I like the Steelers here. I think the Steelers are. I think they're going to be really fueled up for this game with Franco Harris passing away, and they're going to really want to play for him. So I'm going with the Steelers to win this ball game and to cover that 2.5-point spread. Give me Pittsburgh to win 24-21 in vengeance of Franco Harris passing. Our first Christmas game is the Green Bay Packers against the Miami Dolphins. Miami is a 3.5-point favorite against Green Bay, and I love the Dolphins here in this spot. I think the Dolphins will crush Green Bay. I think the Dolphins will do their best to pretty much run the ball, something that the Packers weren't able to stop when they were playing against the Rams. And also, let's think about it. Aaron Rodgers was playing an inferior team, and everybody's like, oh, the Packers are back. No. The Packers are not back. The Packers are the same Packers we know. And also, Mike McDaniel will gel up some stuff with Tua, Tyreek Hill, that will frustrate the defensive coordinator for the Green Bay Packers. Aaron is also getting some connections with his wide receivers and Christian Watson and Romeo Doubs, but it's a little bit too late. They are 6-8 or 5-8, whatever the record is. I just think that in this matchup, you just gotta roll with the Dolphins in this matchup. I love Miami in this spot. Cold weather team going down south smells for trouble. Give me the Dolphins to win 33-23 over the Packers. We got the Denver Broncos at the Los Angeles Rams. You are crazy enough if you're going to bet this game, in my opinion. But the Broncos are a 2.5-point favorite against Los Angeles, and I love the Denver Broncos in the spot. Baker Mayfield did everything he can against the Raiders and led them on the historical comeback, and then did nothing against the Packers. And we know how their defense is. The Broncos defense is just more suffocating than the Packers are. The Broncos are still a top 5 defense overall. And let's think about this. The Rams have been eliminated from playoff contention, so are the Broncos. So both these teams have nothing to play for. The Rams don't even have a first-round pick. The Broncos, they gave around their first-round pick to Seattle, but they have the Dolphins' first-round pick. I just think that there's nothing to play for both of these teams, but I do like Denver in the spot. Brett Rippon has been a better quarterback for this Nathaniel Hackett system, better than Russell Wilson, and I think that will prevail in this matchup against Los Angeles. I love the Broncos here. Give me Denver to win. Have the score as 23-14 over the Rams. We have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the Arizona Cardinals. Tom Brady's Buccaneers are getting 7.5 points over Arizona with Trace McSorley at quarterback. I'm going with the Cardinals to cover this game, but I'm going with the Buccaneers to win it, obviously, because they are the better team and they need to make a playoff push because they need to get some games over Carolina. If Carolina beats Detroit and a Tampa Bay loses to Arizona, that game against the Panthers can dictate the NFC South. But I'm going with the Cardinals because the Cardinals will keep this game close because the Buccaneers haven't been well offensively. We saw it against Joe Burrow's Bengals last week. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers were up 17-0. By halftime, they were up 17-3, and then the Bengals just took off with the whole entire game and went on like a 31-6 run. So I really like the Buccaneers to win this ball game in Arizona in the desert, but I love the Cardinals and the points here. Give me Tampa Bay to win 27-23 in this ball game over the Cardinals. We got the Los Angeles Chargers at the Indianapolis Colts. Indianapolis is a 5-point dog at home against Los Angeles. Most of the money is going to be towards LA with the Chargers. I'm going with the Colts to keep this game close, but I'm going to take the Chargers, obviously, to win it at the end of the day. First of all, Matt Ryan is not going to be playing in this ball game. It's going to be Nick Foles. We saw Nick Foles, whenever he comes off the bench, is good in terms of ATS. Like, he came up against the Rams back when in 2015, beat the Seahawks, and then came back up in 2018 after getting traded, 2017 after getting traded to the Philadelphia Eagles, went in and played well against the Rams and the Giants, and then obviously he was with Chicago, played well over there. I really like the Colts in this matchup. Remember, the Colts, all they have to do is run the ball. Yes, Jonathan Taylor's out for the year, but Deion Jackson, the running back that they picked up, he performed really well. They have running back by committee with Zach Moss. I think they'll run the ball, and Nick Foles, what is he good at? Play action passes. The Chargers are not good in terms of stopping the run and play action passes, so that's why I like the Colts in this matchup. The Colts have something to fight for, but they know it's the end of the season because they're like 4-9-1. So I'm going with the Colts to keep this game close, but I'm going with the Chargers to win this ball game outright. Give me LA to win 23-20, and that is my Week 16 game picks. I'm about to be out in a second, but I want to wish you and your family and friends a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year's. I will see you next week with my Week 17 picks. Happy betting and bet responsibly. This is your host from No Offseason Media, Amari Sports, signing out. Peace.